Hi everyone, it is Neil and Thomas from neilpad.com, and it's another Eurovision 2024 review. This time it's the Netherlands, and they are being represented this year by Joost Klein, and the song is called Europapa. It seems to have divided opinion online, so let's take a look and see what we think.
Europe, let's come together! Europapa, Europapa. It's now.
I'm not sure in this intro, it sounds very cheesy.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga. Europapa, Europapa. Welkom in Europa.
Are you getting the translation of the lyrics, by the way?
Yes.
Europapa.
Bezoek mijn friends en friends of neem de benen naar Wenen. Ik wil weg uit Netherlands, maar mijn paspoort is verdwenen. Heb gelukkig geen visum nodig om bij.
Do you know what I do like about Joost is that he does all these little voices
Ik heb geen geld
in his songs.
dus gebruik mijn fantasie. Heb je een euro?
See, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that.
Alles kwijt, behalve de tijd. Dus ik ben elke dag op reis, want de wereld is van mij.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga. Europapa, Europapa.
So this bit is growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Tot ik dood ga. Europapa, Europa.
Also, he is super cute. Like, literally cute.
Okay, so have you got a new Eurovision crush for the year?
Europa. Ich bin in Deutschland, aber ich bin so allein. Io sono in Italië, maar toch doet het pijn. Ben aan het vluchten van mezelf, roep de hele dag om help. Ja, ik geef zelfs mensen geld, maar er is niemand die me helpt. Ik hoef geen escargots, hoef geen
Hello, S10.
Hoef geen paël, ja, no, ik weet niet eens echt wat dat is. Zet de radio aan, ik hoor Stromae met Papa Oete. Zal niet stoppen tot ze zeggen, ja, dat doet hij goed, hé.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot
Stromae, which is a Belgian singer, so that's kind of funny for me.
Europapa. Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga. Europapa, 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 Europa.
This is the part that's sort of like where it loses me a little bit.
Welkom in Europa, jongen!
Got a bit of donk on it.
Aan het einde van de dag zijn we allemaal mensen.
So if I'm not mistaken, this is the part of the song that we're not going to be seeing
Is wat ik stiekempjes
on the
fluister.
Eurovision stage.
Nou wel, pa,
Yeah,
ik
we're
heb naar
not
je
entirely
geluisterd.
sure. I think time-wise, this bit will be in, but this piano might not be. But who knows? I'm sure we'll find out in May. But that was Europapa by Joost Klein for the Netherlands. So I'm gonna start and say this first of all, is that I like the instrumental. I like the production. I especially like the production of the last 30 seconds or so with the really hard style. I think that's going to be quite a bit of a moment when it comes to being performed in semi-final 2 and in the final. Vocally, I don't know. I find it quite cheesy. I know there's quite a lot of deep sentiment to the song. You can see with some of the lyrics, but I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. It's not there. It's not what I was expecting. I don't think from Joost Klein. I think we had said we were expecting something mad. I don't know if this quite reaches mad, but I don't know. It's just not for me. How about you?
I suppose in Eurovision terms, this is still a healthy amount of mad, I think. But I have been looking up Joost's other work, and this feels sort of, in his doing, it feels sort of demure, a little like subdued a little bit. It's not as mad and as crazy as some of his other work, which is probably why some people have been quite disappointed in this song. I think if you know what he does usually, like it's very much along the lines of what he usually does, but it's just all a bit calmer, a bit more collected. I just can't tell you if that's a good thing or not. I can say that hearing it a second time now, it sort of sounds better than when I heard it the first time. Maybe it's also because I've got the earphones in now. There's just certain bits and pieces in the song where it loses me. It's like, especially when he does that Europapa, that's sort of where it gets a little bit childish and a little bit like too silly for me. I'd rather have something mad and crazy visually and like musically, rather than having it in the lyrics, because the lyrics are so deep in certain parts. Because he's obviously talking about his parents who have passed away, sadly. But then I'm in that moment, and then I sort of get lost when he does that sort of silly Europapa thing, which might be a way for him to make the song a little bit lighter again. Maybe he's like, okay, we're going very deep, so we need to get out of that again. So I don't know what the thought behind it is, but that's just where it loses me for a bit. I personally don't really like the last part of the song.
You're not a fan of putting a donk on it?
It's just, it depends on how it's done. I'm sure that in the arena comes on, I'm going to be jumping and I'm going to be dancing along to it. So I think live, when I'm witnessing it in the arena, that's going to be a different thing. But like just sonically listening to it, I don't really enjoy that part. I enjoy the rest of the song more.
Interesting. See, the rest of the song, so especially the start and some of the verses, do feel very sort of jokey to me, and not in a way where it feels manufactured a little bit for Eurovision. It doesn't feel like this is a song that's written with humor and authenticity in some parts. It just feels like, right, what stereotypes of British people can I put in here, or what stereotypes of Italian? It just feels a little bit trying to be funny without actually being funny. To my tastes, and just a little bit too manufactured. And I think because it feels manufactured, it feels inauthentic, and because it feels inauthentic, I think that really does turn me off from wanting to listen to the song too much. As I say, musically, like the production, I enjoy it like the whole way through. I might need to buy the instrumental version when that comes out, because I do think it's actually quite a nice beat. Just, the thing is, does that make sense?
I get what you mean, but I don't want to sound rude here, but what you're saying is typical for someone who doesn't know his other work. If you know his other work, you know that this is what he usually does. Those lyrics are not, this is not a song typically written for Eurovision. I think he wrote the song for Eurovision because he knew he was going to do Eurovision before he wrote the song. But his other songs, lyric-wise, are just as silly, just as weird, just as manufactured. So in that sense, I disagree with the fact that it's sort of silly for Eurovision, because I know that that's not the case. I know that this is just what he does. His lyrics can be a bit controversial for some people. If if you're a little sensitive, you might, if you listen to his music, you might be offended a couple of times. So I think those cliches that he's saying aren't necessarily meant as a sort of a joke, like, haha, I'm doing Eurovision, let's make fun of Europe. It's what he always does.
That's an interesting,
or at least that's at least how I experience it. I'm not claiming to be an expert in his music. I don't know all of his songs or anything, but there are a couple of songs that I had heard of before, like Friesenjung, for example. But there's other songs which I started discovering as well after he was announced. Because I remember when he was announced, I was like, Joost Klein, who the hell is Joost Klein? And then I looked him up, and then I saw, Friesenjung. I was like, oh, so that's him. And then I was like, oh, so I know that song from him as well, and I know that song. So hearing his other work, I just know that lyrically, it's very much along the lines of what he usually does. It just feels a little, like I said, a little bit more subdued sonically for me, which is, like I said, probably the reason why a lot of people who know him are a little bit disappointed. But for me, it's a grower. I like the second time listening to it now. I like it more. So I think if I listen to it more, this might actually creep up.
Okay.
Maybe not in my top 10, but close.
I do wonder, Len, though, because obviously not a lot of people who watch Eurovision will be familiar with Joost Klein's other work, is how many people will feel a bit like, no, I didn't find it offensive in any way. I'll just say that, but just how many people will find it being cliche or find it being manufactured because that's their first experience of, starting a song at Eurovision going, hello Europe, but it feels very, very, very on the nose.
But then he's also going to be singing it in Dutch, so if you don't really follow pre-selections and national final season, then you're going to hear the song for the first time on the night, and you're probably not going to get all those references because it's sung mostly in Dutch, a little part in German. So maybe the Germans are going to be like, oh. And I think that's also, that might also be an issue as to why some people don't connect it. If you don't speak Dutch, you don't really get what the song is about unless you look up the lyrics or you see the translation of the lyrics on the music video. For me, I obviously speak Dutch. It's my first language. So I think it's easier for me to connect with the song, which is a risk that they're taking. But it worked well for Esteem, which is obviously completely different genre, but it was also in Dutch, and that connected with people. So I don't know, that might be one of the issues.
It was nice to see Estine in the music video as well. She's looking very well. No, I don't know. I'm just not fully convinced. Maybe it will be a grower. Cha 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 was a grower for me last year. We've got 2.5 months really to Eurovision, maybe less than, and anything can happen in that time.
There's the pre-parties as well. I genuinely think that hearing it live will probably, make you connect to it a little bit more.
Well, we will see. We will see, won't we? Have you got any fears about qualification or placement? It's in semi-final 2. So
I don't want to call it a certain qualifier, because I feel like for some people it might be a little bit too niche. It's not as instant as Cha 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 was. It's not as instant as Rim Tim Tagidim. It's going to take you a little while longer to get it, or you're going to get it immediately. And if more people don't immediately get it, then it might be in danger of not qualifying. But at the same time, it also sounds like a song that could potentially do well with the televote. So since it's just televote, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's probably going to qualify. But I'm not calling it a 100% certain qualifier yet. I'll wait with that until I see a live performance. And if it qualifies in terms of where it's going to place, I think juries are going to bury this. I don't have any doubt about that. I cannot see this coming top 10 with the juries. There's too many other similar songs to this which are going to make to the final. Finland is one of them. Croatia is obviously one of them. And I think those two have a bigger shot at getting a considerable amount of jury votes. I think it might get a decent televote in the final, but I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere just outside the top 10.
Okay.
I think.
Now, I do have an apology to make, really, in that I said in our Croatia video that out of Finland, Croatia, Netherlands, Estonia, that I thought Croatia would be the one that suffers. But hearing Joost Klein, I kind of take that back a little bit. I think there's a lot more fun and a lot more real connection to that song quite quickly, that I think that might actually be a bit of a stronger contender. So now I'm worried that the Netherlands are actually who is going to suffer from that fun, because I just don't think this reaches the same level as Rimtim Tagidim or Windows 95 Man or 5 Minutes and Pull Up. You know, I just don't think it quite lives up to that level. So yeah, I think this is.
But then Croatia is in semi-final 1.
Yep, as is Finland.
As is Finland. I'm trying to see. Estonia is in semi-final 2.
Yep.
Along with the Netherlands. I'm trying to see if there's any other sort of quirky songs. I sort of want to put Austria in the mix as well. Not because it's quirky, but it's sort of out there. It's sort of outspoken. There's a lot of fun. It's not sort of a 90s throwback. It is just a song from the 90s, like plucked out of the 90s and dropped in 2024. So that could be, you know, you could sort of put that in the mix as well. I do feel like, Austria aside, but between Netherlands and Estonia, I think Netherlands is going to get the bigger televote score. I think Netherlands genuinely has a little more support on their own as a country in Eurovision. They've had momentum. They've just won. You know, they've had Esteem, which was very popular. So in that sense, I would give the edge in semi-final 2 to the Netherlands for qualification. I mean,
I don't think there's any real worry for qualification. I think there's potential that it could fail to qualify, but I don't think it's a massive concern. Placement, though, I don't see it doing very well. I see it being sort of 19th. You know, that sort of positioning. I'm just not connecting with it, as you said. So yeah, I'm not sure on this one, but I do think it'll qualify. I think Joost Klein's very lucky that he's not in semi-final 1, because that is where a lot of his competition for televote is.
Yeah, for him, yeah.
So I think he's quite lucky, personally. Okay, so that is Europapa by Joost Klein. And we will continue to keep you up to date. That is here on our YouTube channel. You can like and subscribe. Please do leave a comment and let us know what you think of the reviews. If you agree with us, you can tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. Water off a duck's back. You can watch all of our reviews here on YouTube or go to niallpois.com. We're also posting them at Niall Pois blog on Twitter, and we are posting on Niall Pois blog on Instagram as well. Personally, you can follow me at Niall Pois on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Pairatom Rehuja.
And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.